Yeah, what up, what up, what up, what up? Know what time it is. Welcome to the evening of PVM. Positive Vibes Maybe. The talk show live. We are here this Wednesday on this beautiful evening, walking into the beautiful spring weather. I am Jeide, one half of the front line of the squad. It's going to bring you tonight's entertainment slash information slash shenanigans. And we've got some things to talk about tonight, y'all. You know what I mean? Tonight's topic, courtesy of the brother Dash, the familiar. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't really want to talk about it. For real, shit is overrated to me. And I'm not really a mainstream type person as far as like being on the same shit that everybody else be talking about. But the way that Dash talked as far as to introduce the topic in a way that finangled the angle, I fuck with it so heavy. So much love to Fan. We about to talk about the line on comedy, you know what I'm saying? Where's the line for real, for real? You know what I mean? What's going on, people? What's freedom of speech now? What's comedy now? You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk about just the Will Smith and Chris Rock shit. We gonna talk about the shit that happened with T.I. at the Comedy Club recently. If y'all don't know, we gonna get into it. We gonna talk about the tweets from such fuckheads like Amy Schumer and Kathy Griffin, who now shook to get on stage and talk about bullshit because now they have to hinge more on their careers than just their talentless fuck selves and shit. Oh man, he said it. Oh no. Ain't cutting no checks. Fuck them. But anyway, let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Before we bring anybody in, or everybody in, or just the fam in, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to send this invite. You know. Send it to some folk that may be interested in joining and hearing tonight's topic and conversation, because we're going to get live. We're going to have some fun tonight, y'all. That's word on everything, you know what I mean? This is going to be a nice one. Hey, Wills, what's going on with you, fam? Kia, how you living, love? The bokeh junkies, what's going on with y'all, fam? What's going on? How's everybody living this evening? Bring Dash up in here. I'm going to put the topic up. Biome. Okay, the Fresh Prince of Sensitivity, y'all. So yeah, let's get into it. Fam, what's going on?
How you living?
I can't complain, fam. God is good, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. It's been a long day, but it's been a good one. You know, so I can't complain. I woke up this morning.
I feel that. Hold on.
So the bokeh junkie said, "You don't mess with Amy."
Not really.
She
She been corny to me, but
Amy Schuler.
Huh?
Who? Amy Schuler?
Yeah, she been corny.
Yeah. She whack. I thought. Yeah, I hated her tweet too because she made that she over exaggerating the slap. Like I hate what media is doing in the totality of the whole slap. Like they talking violence. Like I'm just like, man. I mean, look, you shouldn't put hands on somebody, but it was just a slap at the end of the day. Like nobody got sucker punch. It wasn't no brawl, nothing. Like I done seen worse. I done did worse with my little sister. So like, come on now, who we talking?
I'm gonna be real with you. I feel where you coming from, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. One of the why I don't even rock with what she tweeted is at a real basic level and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, how a comedian feels like they're gonna feel right now is based upon how they feel, you know what I mean, whether it's bitch made or not, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna get into it, y'all. But the first thing that she said, first thing flew out her mouth was, hey, if you wanna know how I feel, the best thing I could suggest is that you stream my next special or some shit. Like, bitch, out there with that shit. Like, we talking about some real shit. You over here promoting yourself. Like, nobody got time for that shit. Shut your fucking dumb ass up, man.
Well, you know, that's all they're good for. Everybody is a promotion. Everything is a rollout plan. You know, everything is a rollout plan. Huh?
I said everything, man.
Yeah, everything. You know, so anytime anyone has the opportunity to promote their product, they're gonna seize that moment. You know, they're gonna, placate to what the masses are saying. You know, and champion that side, and then they're gonna be like, okay, this is dive here, you know, or support this in the process. Like, but it's all BS. It's all BS. She was just one of a handful of people that kind of irked my soul a little bit, you know, with this whole fiasco. And I kind of hate that everybody kind of started picking sides and, you know, who they were defending. It was just like, you know, it was good and bad done on both sides. You know, like it's okay to just be like, you know what, no one was right and no one was wrong in this situation. Like all parties are equally at foot, or you know, equally share blame. But we're not gonna stay on that all night. Like, so the whole reason we even brought that up is because like I started listening to all these podcasts throughout the week while I was at work. And for those who don't know, I work in a warehouse throughout the day, and I'm there for 12 to 14 hours daily. So like I gotta occupy my time while I'm doing work. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and the central theme was the Will Smith Chris Rock slap. So I was just like, you know what? Let's put a spin on it, but let's take it from the narrative that has it. I haven't heard broached on any of the podcasts I listen to, but I have heard the narrative from comedians stating how they feel unsafe or what they can or can't say on stage, and I know how I felt, you know, and I kind of fall somewhere in the middle with everything. So that's where why I wanted us to do this theme, which was, you know, where is that line between inappropriate and it's just comedy? You know, like how far can a comedian push before, you know, you get an incident? Or are we just sensitive, you know, because nowadays people are more emotional and more in tune with their feelings and more impulsive to react towards said feelings nowadays than they would be in the past. Because honestly, when you listen to comedians from decades ago, or even, you know, a couple years ago, you know, like even as far as like 2007, you would hear like the way they talked and everything. Nobody really got offended, but they was saying some disrespectful shit, like depending on the type of party or who that the joke was directed towards, you know, like, and we all found humor in it, and it wasn't an issue, or at least it wasn't as big of an issue as it is nowadays. So it was just like, all right, are we too emotional? Are we too sensitive? Or are the comedians just taking things too far, you know? And we just holding them accountable for the actions that, you know, for the words that they're saying, you know, like we're held accountable. Because at the end of the day, you know, like a joke is a joke, but there's always some truth in the joke. So if someone is offended by that truth, you know, or maybe aren't ready to face that truth, you know, kind of got to deal with comes their way, you know. So, you know, give me your take. And the floor is open to everybody in the comment section as well. So, like, we want to hear your opinions.
Please, please. Angelica, what's going on with you, love? But yeah, I'm with you though. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of both. I feel like the scale is a bit more tilted on the side of the sensitivity and shit like this. I need people to know I called this shit a couple years ago. I said that like before everything end, because this world is going to hell in the handbasket. Before everything goes to an end, the world will implode upon its own sensitivities. I've been called this shit.
Well, yeah, you can see it in the weather.
Now, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's really leaned more on everybody's sensitivities now in this day and age and whatnot. And it doesn't go to say that the accountability is going out the window as far as these comedians are concerned. But for real, motherfuckers is sensitive as shit. Let's call a spade. I'm only gonna touch this shit one time with the Will Smith and Chris Rock shit. What Will Smith did was some chump ass shit. I said it. I fuck with Will Smith.
I ain't gonna say it's some chump ass shit, you know, because
I'll say why. I'll say why it's some chump shit.
I'll say with Jada, her response to it was some chump ass shit. Like
I said it. And I say it like this. The reason why I say it like this is Will Smith a superstar. He already done put a lot of things into perspective as far as like his family and that everything is concerned. His family is good. Like if he stops working today, his family good. His kids good. His kids are good. You know what I'm saying? All these motherfuckers out here that's talking, oh, I need to get me a man from Philly. Oh, I need my husband to do this. Let's put things in a real life perspective, like for real. If your man went up and smacked his manager, his boss, his associate over some shit and didn't know, he didn't have any wits about him. He didn't have any type of psychological way to address it, or he didn't know to maybe I should clock out and see this nigga about this shit when we not on the fucking business grounds. And your man loses his job, and then your man tries to get another job and he becomes blacklisted. Let's see how well that you gonna ride for your nigga when your nigga was sensitive enough to allow some shit to happen that fucks up your livelihood irreparably. People not really thinking about this shit. Like, if it was really like that, for real, niggas know. Real ones know. And not to say that what Will Smith did was completely outside of the scope of what somebody would do if they was already pushed to the brink. Because that's anybody. Anybody pushed to the edge is going to react. That is.
I was about to say.
But let's put some things in a real life perspective. If a nigga really about that, I ain't gonna do shit on the cameras. I'm gonna be all smiles and cheeses. And as soon as this cameras come off, I'm gonna catch you in the parking lot. Or I'm gonna pull up to your house. Or I'm gonna pull up somewhere we don't expect. Where ain't no cameras. And we gonna handle this shit like grown men. Cause I don't need the cameras to whoop. I don't need cameras to put hands on you. If it's really like that, we gonna play the game for the cameras. And I'm gonna see you off camera about it. And then we're going to see what's really what.
But, I mean, Will never came off as that type of person. Like, Will is... Well, my projection of who Will Smith is has never been the type of person that's like, when I see you, it's on sight. You know, we're going at it. Like, I never seen him as that type of person. So I can't really see him even as angry as being like, yo, this is something I want to do. Like, that's why I'm like, it was more on Jeide, because initially... he did kind of chuckle, so in my mind, I kind of internalized it as, you know, like, he was doing something, he was doing what he felt his girl needed in that moment. Because, like, honestly, if she really felt like he went too far, a real woman would have, like, stopped him from going up there. Because, like, this was his night. This was his moment. Like, he done put, like, 20, 30 years into this business for this night, for this award. So, as his woman, even if he do get charged up, and even if that was his emotion and like his feelings, and he just wanted to do something, she should have been like, yo, babe, this ain't the time and the place. Like, you know what? Just get your award. We're going to handle him when it's time to handle him, you know, like, because your woman can talk you off that ledge, you know, if she in your corner. Like, that's why I felt like she felt him in that moment, you know, like, he was doing what he felt he needed to do to protect her, but she wasn't doing what she needed to do to protect him in that moment. Okay, what's good with you?
I'm over here. I feel like I'm a wrestler at the ring with my hand out. I'm like, yo, like, tag me in, bro. Let's get him. For real. But yo, what's up with y'all, man? How y'all?
Oh, man,
I'm living.
Living life. We beautiful. How are you living, man? How's the
right?
I'm good. You know, I'm chilling here. I'm just, I'm trying to be like, yeah, I ain't gonna say anything. But, you know, like, everybody has their own perspective on that and on that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you said initially, you know, like, it was both of them wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he had a history of going at his wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
My man, wipe your name out your mouth.
Right. But then, you know, like, at the same time, people do snap. And, you know, yeah, we're looking at, I always see it like this, like, because this happened to me so many times in my life where you have, like, you witness things and then you're like, I would have did this, I would have did that. Yeah, but that's because you have that thinking, like, you're clear-minded. Right. You know, say, so imagine you know, at the situation with your wifey and, you know, you chuckle because you're like, I'm a comedian, I could take that, whatever. And then you turn around and you see your wife, like, upset.
Yeah.
He blanked out. Now,
Yeah.
What I was telling everybody would have been the right thing to do, even when if you're in that blackout space, like you felt like you wanted to do something, right? He should have just walked up to him and turned around and told people and said, hey, listen, my wife suffers from XYZ. Would have had the same impact with just using his words.
Donnie.
You know what I'm saying?
Donnie.
But I mean, that's a clear mind thinking. Like when right, something trigger you, you're not really thinking, I'm gonna kill him with words. You thinking, no, I'm gonna kill him with my fists. Like that's why I feel like Jeide felt him in that moment.
Yeah, it's easy for us to like be like, She's
As
toxic,
his
bro.
woman, she should have seen that look in his eyes. Like, she know that look. So she know when he been pushed too far. Like, especially after 20 years of marriage, like, you know when your spouse about to do some shit. So I feel like she felt him in that moment because she should have been like, yo, babe, this not the time. This not the time. Like, because even if he was blacked out, his woman would have pulled him back. And he'd have been like, all right, you know
But
what?
you also said earlier, no one ever seen it coming because Will is not like that.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I'm
I mean,
saying?
20
But
years of marriage, I'm sure she's seen sides of him that we haven't seen, you know.
yeah, but he's always advocated the whole walk away, treat your woman like a queen. You know what I'm saying? And just try to move past that. Like, and I think that he is about that. But like, like you guys said earlier today too, that when somebody's had it, it's flip mode.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, obviously, he's been holding a lot of stuff in for years, and that was just that moment. We talked about Jeide. We talked about this before too. We good people. We've been going through a lot. We smiling, we whatever, but we at the brink sometimes where if somebody just says something, like, you be looking at them like, yo, you don't even know. Like, I got 20 years of stress that I could just be like,
Facts.
you know. And so constantly the good guy is always trying to turn the cheek and walk away, turn the cheek and walk away. Come on, like, you look how fast he was like, like, this actually happened. Yes, he didn't apologize to him when he should have on stage. But, again, being upset, being a dude, having, just like that moment of not caring and it is what it is, just overwhelmed him and got to him, you know what I mean? But
And that's a tough spin. Like, honestly, I think that would have took more courage out of Will to make that apology that night. Like, I would have felt like that would have been more courageous if he did that, especially after the slap, to be like, you know
yeah,
what,
but
I embarrassed you in public. Let me at least
he went back
apologize.
to regular mode. He's like a
Huh?
dude at that point. He's like, I'm not apologizing to you. I just slapped you for a reason. The slap is like disrespect.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I'm
he
saying?
could have.
Come on, man. You know that
We
in the
all knew he was
neighborhood.
going to apologize, though. I knew the apology was coming after the slap. Like, I knew
Well,
at some
because
point
we
apology was coming.
also not putting into like account that he's a business, right? He's
Yeah.
apologizing, and people never seen that side of him because he's a business. He's making light out of situations. He's a rapper. Like, he was known for that a little bit here and there, but he's known as a wholesome family guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that big perspective that everybody else sees. So we all intellectual people, right? Well, not all of us, but most of us. In this room, you know what I'm saying? And we all have done things, jumped out of pocket like this, and it took us a day or two to be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have reacted like that.
Bro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
But as far as all comedians saying, they don't want to be a comedian in a sense anymore because they don't know what to say anymore. That has been an ongoing thing since Kevin Hart. He was apologizing for things that he said 5 years ago, and he's like, "Yo,
With the tweets,
yeah, and yes,
man, I done said some crazy shit on Twitter too. Like,
yes, but come on, man. Like, we're talking about his reach versus yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always they're under the microscope. You know what I'm saying? Because of who they are. But there's so everything you guys said again before. I'm just reiterating that. Like, I feel like it's all those things. It's not one of those things. It's not just a generation being super sensitive or people being disrespectful. They're all doing it. It's like to say something. You're a comedian, right? So you have to say something that's super edgy and, like you said, have some truth to it. But it could be personal.
true.
And there's where, come on, I don't know if you watched it. Amy Schumer talking about the people who sit in. She just grabbed a girl out of her seat and was like, sat in her seat. And the dude was like, yo, that's my wife. And he didn't have a funny look at his face at all. And as viewers, we sit there and go, it's got to be planned. And it's not. We're starting to realize that all these comedians are doing this stuff off the cuff.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. I never really watched any Amy Schumer of her comedy to know if she even good or not. Like, honestly, I seen her on a couple commercials and I just never took to her.
I feel like her movies are funny as shit. I've never seen her like stand-up comedy, of hers.
I
You know what
seen
I'm
one
saying?
movie with her, and it was whack as shit to me. But
I mean, but that, you know, that goes without saying. There's different, you know, different jokes for
yeah,
different folks. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I didn't think anything bad of her. I didn't think she was garbage. I just, you know, if I watched the movie, she was in it. It was funny. It was cool. I wasn't no thought involved like she's the one.
uh,
You know what I mean?
no, I ain't saying that. But I'm just saying. Well, to go back to your comedian, what you said about the comedians, like I do think you don't have to necessarily be edgy to be funny. You know, like because like Dave Chappelle, the way he delivered comedy, like he give it to you in a thought provoking way to get your mind thinking. So it's funny, but it gets your mind turning as well. Like, and the things he's saying are actually factual. Like it's not him passing his opinion or his judgment. It's
Right. But
actual factual shit that
you talking about Dave Chappelle, man.
And he,
yeah, but
Who else has done what he's done?
well, I mean, you can take real life situations. You don't necessarily have to.
No, I know, but we were raised on comedians like that was about that.
Yeah, we
Richard
were.
Pryor. Richard
But I mean, you
Pryor
gotta.
was like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and all the people that were like in that lineup in the 90s and the 80s, like you said, like if you were in the audience, they went at you, your girl, you know.
And I love those days. Def Comedy Jam. That was my era. But
Yeah.
we not in the '90s no more. And you gotta change with the times. Like this is like comedy gotta move with the era. Like and back in the day those didn't
but we
affect
have the
people.
internet. But we have the internet. That's what makes everything dramatically different now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I did like a thing when DMX was around. He was performing at the Apollo, right?
Okay.
And you know, I'm in there early, like young Vega, right? Gold chain down, like you know, like remember when Mobb Deep made it cool for you to have the long chain all the way down to the like.
Hell yeah.
That was me, right?
My uncle still got the jaw hanging in the basement.
So you know, I'm thinking I'm fresh, you know, fresh as shit. You know, I'm rocking diamonds. I'm in there with DMX. We got the pit bulls in the building. You know, we in there. And I'm not gonna say the comedian's name, but she's super well known. And she ragged on me backstage, talking about how I got my chain off the 25-cent machine, and she was ripping me, bro, ripping me. And then I was like, you know, obviously I was a fan of hers, but when I felt like I got attacked, I was like, yo, you know how many guys I got? Like, we need to, you know, like, and then and then she saw me getting like, you know, that way, and she pulled me aside and said, you know, I'm an OG and I'm a comedian here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm a queen, and I know you know these things, and you know why I said those things, because you need to be aware of where you're at. Mm-hmm. None of those things matter. Why are you here? Right. Matters. Yeah. So it made sense even at that young age where she pulled me to the side and gave me knowledge, because I was running around there like, you know, like I'm with so and so and I got this and what you know. She was like, boy, you know what I'm saying? I ain't running around with any of that, but I got way more stuff than you, you know, like, and, you know, unfortunately, like, not everybody gets that, like, schooling, right? Yeah. But I say that to say this. Back then, there wasn't no internet like that, right? So if that would have went viral, as a young boy, you know how these young boys are now. They're willing to fucking go and blah, 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 and be like, I ain't no sucker. Yeah. And so now things go into limits and everybody gets hot-headed, you know, and it's like, oh, this person's stupid, this person did this person did that. And everybody else is like, you know, how I would say in the audience, just depicting everything and saying what they feel. And, you know, honestly, when I first saw the Will thing, I was like, how is he even still there? Because if I would have been the Source Awards, or it would have been like 50 cops would have snatched him out, and you know, so
they was looking for the drama,
right? But then we found out later on that it was Chris Rock that wanted him in there. Yeah, absolutely. That was like, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? So
that was there's a few comments I want to get, but I'm gonna try to do as many as I can. But right, I want to start off with this one. Pretty Rude. Pretty Rude said, jokes are funny. Offensive things get passes if they are funny. It's a thin line. And if comedians aren't clever enough to make jokes, then they can quit. I'm so glad that I read that comment.
Yeah.
It's as more that I can see that's coming, but I feel like that's a great pivot point to the T.I. situation that you sent me, though, Dash. And for those aware, T.I. just entered into comedy, started doing stand-up, like, let's say, within the last year. And he was just caught up somewhere down south. I don't know if it's ATL or where. He was caught up somewhere down south at a comedy club, and the person that was running the comedy club was making jokes about the rape allegations that T.I. and his wife were accused with maybe like a year or two ago. And T.I., it wasn't jokes to him, so he basically shut the whole shit down. Went, just like approached her on the type time where it's like, look, anybody make light of this situation or make jokes of this situation, I'm gonna address it. Fucked up the whole energy. All jokes, all jokes.
Jeide, you going in and out on my end.
Now,
Yeah.
this is the problem. The problem is entertainers get into the industry, and one of two things happen. Entertainers get into the industry, and they lose perspective off of the fact that your life is no longer your life anymore. Your life is now up to the tabloids. It's up to the paparazzi. It's up to the narratives of public opinion. Once you sign your life away to being an entertainer, unless you keep things to a private affair, like in a vault, once things become public news, it's up for public consumption, period. And when it comes to that, now you're going into the avenue of comedians and comedy. That shit is open game. It's open game. You know what I mean? And it's not even like they're accusing you. They're just bringing the facts of an accusation. They're not saying that the fact is you did it. They're bringing the facts of an accusation to light to make fun of it. And what you gotta eat that shit. Like, it's public opinion. Unless you're gonna pay everybody who puts out these motherfucking articles, who puts out these posts, unless you're gonna pay these motherfuckers to completely eradicate this shit, and you go and check every single person in the world about this motherfucker, it makes no sense for you to fuck up a vibe, like a genuine vibe, when really it's just you being a victim of the situation, the circumstance that you signed up for in the first place.
I kind of feel a little. All right, so I feel a little torn about that. On one hand, I understand where you're coming from, Jeide. Like, I really do, because you do sign up for that, especially if you decide to put your personal family into the public's viewing. You inviting them into your house for them to have opinions, you know. So for you to be angry about them having opinions, you sound like a fool. But with the case, that's a little touchy, because is the case still ongoing? Because if it's still ongoing and you giving jokes, you could possibly be persuaded my possible jury into thinking I did this crime. Like,
well,
and I don't need that energy,
anything.
you know, like, or, You said what?
The jury's not supposed to be like, you know, on the social media like that. You know what
Well,
I'm
I mean, they not supposed to, but come on, like, this is 2022.
no.
Like,
Yeah, but no.
how much
that's
can
what I'm
you
saying.
really
It's strict.
control once they walk out the courtroom? Like, they're not supposed to talk about the case either, but I'm sure they go home at night. If T.I. is the victim, they're gonna start opening up like a chatty patty to their spouse and be like, "Hey, yo,
Right,
cases."
but see, my opinion on that is I feel like you guys are both right again.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody is wrong. You know, we just
no, because I feel like we're just in a new stage now because the internet, right? And you know, it's almost like being having these laws that were like passed on us 100 years ago. It's like, okay, a lot of this is going to keep happening. There's going to be more altercations because people are going to not put up with it anymore, and things are going to have to change. It's like, look, you have freedom of speech, cool. Do it tasteful, do it clever. You know, like you said, Dave Chappelle have, you know, meaning whatever, or it is what it is, and you have to let it go. Now, if it's me and I put myself in that situation, now the question is, because I'm that and I meet my wife later on and have kids later on, does she have to say, well, I'm with him now, so now my life is an open book too? Because I think that's what a lot of comedians and, you know, rappers fight for. Is like, hey, listen, you talk about me all day, but don't bring my family into this, man. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're crossing the line, and then you're making money off of crossing that line. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, you can do it. It's not tasteful, and I'm gonna be upset. You know?
Yeah.
Got a
No,
little
I understand.
clarity in the situation. Pretty much that he started, and Roxy Harrison said, "Nah, you got to see her side of it." He started heckling her before she made the allegation joke.
See?
Oh, see, they didn't play that part.
See?
I just got the clips.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's always different perspectives and different things going on. It's always something. I always say there's always two sides of the story before people start going crazy.
I say it's three.
Well, there's three now here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's hard, man, because we live in a different time, man, and I think the internet does make a lot of people sensitive to stuff and definitely over opinionated and saturated with opinions. You know what I'm saying? And you know, what I'm still trying to understand is like how Will Smith got like almost 3 million people off a slap. You know what I'm saying? Like when people were like, if you look at the comments, people were like, "It's over for you. Like I don't respect you anymore." Like blah blah blah. It was like all negative. So I was like, that's crazy. But
well, I mean, it was people who already was hoping for his downfall. This just gave them a quote unquote reason to express their hatred.
But then the T.I. thing too, it's like he's dipping into another world too, and to just like have that come at him, like, you know, again, you're not expecting it, and then all of a sudden it happens, and it's like, you know, at that point, think about it, man. We're humans. If somebody gets you riled up, are you gonna walk away from the situation and think about everybody in the room?
Right.
No.
You know, sometimes you will, and sometimes you'll be like, listen, I'm a peace out, and other times, again, with that camera on there,
and those are open wounds too, like talking about your case, you know, like, and he lost a lot of sponsorship and money when those accusations was going around. So like he still might be, you know, navigating life post those allegations. So
you just
like,
clearly said it. They hit the switch, and that real person came out.
And it was just like, yo, like jokes is jokes, you know, like this is my life, like.
Yeah, but then, you know, at that same time, again, there's that flip side, like what Jeide said. It's like, look, man, like freedom of speech. I should say whatever I want to say, and not be worried that somebody's going to come up on stage and beat me up.
No, you're not entitled to that, because you're entitled to freedom of speech, but you're also entitled to some consequences for your freedom of speech. So you can say whatever you want, like no one is going to stop you. But just know whatever you say has consequences. So if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, expect consequences. And you can't tell a person how they should or shouldn't react, because everyone reacts differently to different things. And we can't say words don't hurt, because sometimes words cut more than a punch.
And what's right. You know what I'm saying? I had the situation with somebody of what's wrong and what's right, because that's open to everybody's opinion. Again, it all falls into this gray thing, right? So like, let's say, for instance, right, I'm gonna hit you with like two analogies, right? One for the guys and one for the girls, right? So, you know, back in the day, guys used to be like, oh, you know, why girls wearing that? You know, you causing, you know, people to come at you. And the girl was like, I just want to wear what I want to wear, right? So females would be like, nah, that's wrong. Like, I should be able to wear what I want to wear. Keep it comments to yourself, right? Right? That was the thing, right? So I'm not going to answer what's right, what's wrong on that. I'm just going to say, I throw that out there for people to question, right? Now, as a guy, I told you I used to have the gold ropes and everything like that. I drew attention to myself. So either people were trying to rob me, or they would just grab my chain. I'd be like, yo, what are you doing? You know, and so you don't see it. I don't wear the gold chain every day anymore, because I just know what that energy gives. So it's either somebody trying to get me, or somebody's thinking the perception is I have all this money and I have this and I have that, or I'm cocky. And so I try to stay away from that type of energy. Yeah. And it sucks, because in my mind, I just want to be me and I want to enjoy whatever I want to wear. Mm-hmm. But again, it's everybody's opinion. Everybody feels a different way, and you can't tell people nothing.
Yeah. You know what? I want to say something just in a long line with that, because my thing is this, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, accountability wasn't given to everybody in that situation, you know what I mean? Because once a joke gets cracked, everybody start laughing. Then you want to go at the motherfucker that told the joke. Nipsey said something real dope one time. He was like, yo,
when the reason why he was going at DJ Academics, he was like, yo, we don't condone or co-sign that type of shit in the hood. If I'm scrapping my mans and we fucking somebody up, and somebody just come out of nowhere and start poking up their phone or laughing, we fucking you up next. Cause bro, you don't even know what kind of business is going on right now. We fucking you up now. Because you putting your nose in business that ain't got nothing to do with you. It's the same shit with the Will and Jeide situation. When Chris Rock said that joke, everybody in the audience was laughing. And then it became something different when Will Smith went up and smacked him. That's why I said he's a chump for that. Because if that's the case, smack everybody in the audience because everybody co-signed off the laughter.
Yeah, but
I know
not everybody made a joke directed towards you and your wife. Like,
homegirl said what she said. Because it's a joke. You go there, it's just like Bokeh Junkies said. You go there for a reason. What are you here for? You're here to laugh. So you already primed and programmed. And if you're primed and programmed, then that means that either everybody's in the same track or it means you the odd man out because you the one that acted out of order. Can't have it both ways.
I mean, why can't you? Because, like, yeah, you do go there to be entertained and a joke and to hear laughs and a crack up, but you don't go there to be ridiculed. Like, you don't go there expecting the comedian to turn his whole performance towards you because you're in the audience. Like, what was the material you planned to give us if I wasn't here? What would you do? How would you perform? I want to hear those jokes. I don't want to come to the show and you go, oh, okay, he looked funny. Let me direct my whole show towards ripping your shirt or your outfit. No, that's not what I paid my hard-earned dollars for. So if I get frustrated and I get tired of you on stage, and ha, and joking on me because I paid my hard-earned dollars for a show and you want to turn your show on me, oh, you know what? I'm going to make a show out your ass and I'm gonna light that ass up and I'm going to see how much you want to he and ha after I put my hands on you, Mr. Funny Man.
Yeah, but you have to understand, he's a comedian, right? So, like, even if he happened to be on the show,
look,
and
I'm
he
tired
starts
of
going
comedians
on you,
getting that pass though, like, because comedians
that's
do
their
get that
pass.
Yo,
They work hard for
comedians
that
live
pass.
off that, like, yo, it's a joke. I said it. It's a joke. I'm a comedian. Yeah, okay, yo, that's your profession, but you need to watch how you talk. Like, every profession is a kind of code of conduct and a line that you can't cross. You know. And at the end of the day, a person is still a person. A man is still going to be a man. A woman is still going to be a woman. And once you cross that line,
is different, unfortunately, for everybody. Think about how many times somebody told Kevin Hart that he was short. You know what I'm saying? And he had to sit there and just take it. And he's like, man, I talked to Jesus and I can't grow anymore and I'm mad.
Okay.
And so I'm going to beat your ass. You know, it's like you have to, as a comedian, you have to take it, right? So, like, he's a comedian.
You can fight back if you're a comedian, you know, like,
yeah.
Because
we saw how that played out with Will Smith.
As performances, try to ridicule somebody in the audience and an audience member turning around on them, and the comedians start to unfold and start to want to be in attack mode after that because they can't handle the jokes being directed at them, but they're easily conditioned out, like.
Well, yeah. Again, that's what I'm saying. The line is different for everybody. Certain people could hack it. Some people can't. I've seen that happen too, where the person in the audience was actually funnier than the comedian. You know what I'm saying? And snapped on them, and they felt awkward.
And that come with the game too. It's like rap. It's like rap. You start ragging on a motherfucker and freestyle, and that motherfucker come out, he got better bars than you and shit, but you the rapper? Eat that. What, you gonna just pop off and go, I don't like that punchline?
Yeah, no, go home and work on those lines, bro. That was the lesson right there. That's how it was back in the day. Now it's not. You know.
I mean, we can't say that because back in the day, I do feel like people was getting slapped up and punched in the clubs. Like, I just don't feel like it was social media for us to see it. You know, like,
of course, that's what it was.
But I have a hard time believing like some of these jokes from back in the day was just flying in certain areas. Now, I ain't gonna say on like mainstream stage it didn't fly, but like certain areas, like in certain neighborhoods and certain cities, I could just see it just kind of going a little sideways for somebody to be like, you know what, I'm gonna see Mr. Funny Guy right after the show, like meet him at the car.
But that always was like that back in the day. Back in the day when I went to shows, you know, I was with those type of people, and sometimes people would have a situation, And they would wait, get behind stage, and either talk to that person or show that person some things. You know what I'm saying? So like those things always happen. Social media just makes it, it's social. Everybody's seeing everything now, and then now because of that, I feel like more people are doing more bogus things because they already prepared for somebody's phone to be out.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be the ones looking like a sucker, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to go for theirs or whatever it is. And it's like, it's bad. I mean, I think this is just a point in time where people are just trying to get used to being on the camera all day, every day. And
Yeah.
Point. That's a real good. There's this one comment I want to get to. Give us a few. I'm gonna let you come in here. You actually have a real valuable perspective as a comedian yourself. But Unir Gaines, shout out to King. He said Damon Wayans said, "I knew I was funny. I would get beat up."
right, that goes to show you too that they've been going through that for a long time. To
Yeah.
their road to fame, they took a lot of bumps and bruises and threats and everything. And as a comedian, they have to say, no, the show must go on, and I'm gonna talk my shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This
Exactly.
is what I get paid to do. This is what I do.
That's why I'm wondering, like, where this narrative and why they feel so, like, under fire right now over the slap. Like, I'm just like, this is something like we've seen, like they've had the experience. So it's not like something
But
new.
not
It's
at
not
that
like
level. Not at that level. It's the Oscars, bro. Like the Oscars is like the you know what I'm saying? Like you up here.
I mean,
And the fact that he did it live and just walked up to him casually and he had his hands like this because he didn't think anything of it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the fact that he got away with it in the Oscars and sat down and didn't want to be removed. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things, they never happened before. And it was because it was Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is what it
Getting
is.
a little too heavy about it.
That's a fact. It's just like, and I know you mentioned the Source Awards, bokeh, and I know I've heard this comparison, but it ain't no real comparison. Let's keep things all the way real.
No, it's not.
No, well, Social Wars was lit in the 90s, though, in early 2000s. But it wasn't Oscars. Yeah, you're right.
Source Awards is cultural.
Yeah.
The Academy Awards is global.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I was saying that to put things in perspective of even the Source Awards had the sense to get the cops and say, you got to go. You just did something that you weren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that there, and some people are bigging it up. Like I think Fat Joe was live on IG saying, shout out to, the Oscars for letting him get his award and not taking that away from him. You know what I'm saying? Because of an incident. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a tough one because, that's a hard ask for them because, like, honestly, we all knew he was getting an award for Best Actor. So it's just like, and that's one of the prize awards. So it's just like, how do you, as that being like one of the pivotal points of the show, kind of remove that on the win? Like, you don't really have nothing to kind of fill that slot or that's going to be of significance. And I think it kind of brings more light to the situation. If you ask him to leave, it makes the situation even bigger. Because now we're talking about the slap and he got removed from the cops. What's next? And now every news site, every media site, Will Smith, Chris Rock. We would have been Will Smith, Chris Rock to death. Like,
yeah, but no one's above the law, right? So just because he's Will Smith doesn't mean
we
that
say
what he
that,
did was
but
right.
it's exceptions.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what's supposed to be. So when you see things like that, it's like, oh, it's your stature that you got away with that. Because if it would have been any one of us three, there would have been 50 cops on your back, calling your ass out, and that's it.
But I feel like once you kind of have that type of acclaim, money, you kind of buy that to an extent. Like if you can buy the police to not arrest you, or keep them where they might look the opposite way when you get into a little bit of shit. Like
again,
you'll play that to your advantage.
It was
if I had the finances to make the cops look some ways, I would.
Yeah, but it's not about that. I think it was about Chris Rock saying, I'm fine, and let the show go on. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to take that away from anybody else. Yeah, no, and that's what everybody was saying. They were saying that Chris Rock saved the day, and he did because the show was able to go on, and then that's why people thought it was a skit.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, and to be honest too, I just saw another interview with the guy who actually did the show, the producer, and he thought it was a skit until Chris Rock came backstage and was like, "No, I actually got hit."
Yeah.
You know,
But that's
I know.
professionality. Listen, shout out to Chris Rock. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Chris Rock real good. I don't go fuck about a cheap slap. He kept the show rolling, and that nigga ticket price fucked up. Like that nigga kept it professional. And that,
yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, people will laugh because he got slapped and he didn't do anything. But Chris Rock is another one of those guys who always turns the other cheek, but
Yeah.
he has a past.
yeah,
I don't know if you know, but like there was somebody who did something to him before when he was younger. He went to school with a brick to take this person out.
Yeah, I know.
Like
That's why he said he don't fight. Because he blacked out.
Because he'll just black out. So it's like that animal, you know what I'm saying? And you could kind of see in the footage when it slowed down, when he got smacked.
He
He kind of went to a stance, but when he saw Chris turn around, he was like, "Okay, I'm good."
mm-hmm.
That's how much confidence he had to be like, "Okay, he backed off." Because if he didn't, and he would have made a step, you know what I'm saying? Then it would have been a different situation. But he still would have been in the right because at that point he's defending himself, you know?
Yeah, but Chris, he a vet in the game too. Like he an icon like Will. So honestly, I attribute that to like he had his eye on a bigger prize. Like he had just like the money would have been fucked up for both of us. Like,
well, I think he got shocked.
If
I think there was a shock value too because like
yeah,
he got hit and then he walked away and then he was just like, in his mind he was like, did that just really happen right now? And then he felt his jaw and was like, okay, that just really happened right now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are saying, oh, I would have hit him back instead of third. It's like, bro, some people are
you don't know what
this
you
is
would have
my
did in that
job.
situation. Yeah,
You know, you at your job. You're like, I'm not gonna do that. Like,
Right.
and I'm just like the Oscars done had Chris as the host multiple times. Like that's a big check for him. Like I'm not about to mess that up because he and his emotions. Right.
I mean, the fact that he's able to like freestyle that whole show because they said a lot of his jokes like he was, you know, he was rehearsing and then he did the show off the cuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's legendary stuff.
Bon?
What's going on?
First, did y'all read Will Smith's book?
Yes. I'm familiar with it.
Really
When
good
he was
book.
talking about how he felt like a coward most of his life.
All right, this is what happened. All right, on this side, this is my synopsis. What you seen was a man that's the nice guy that wants respect and doesn't know how to get it without being physical. His dad was abusive to his mom.
Yeah.
And he actually had a string of just punching people because he had Charlie Mack with him. He actually admitted that. He's like, I don't know if it's because I had Charlie Mack or Bucky from JBM had my back, but I started punching people. He's a guy that doesn't know how to gain respect without putting his hands on somebody because everything he ever been shown, people putting hands on people. So what he is, he's a regular dude that like joking around, like being loved. He want to be the regular nice guy. What he seen in that situation was a situation, I blame his dad because he didn't know how to handle that situation in a manly way. What he did was react out of emotion. So it's like what happens is he was actually enjoying it, and like everybody say, he seen his wife's reaction, and he reacted because he wants like, look, I'm your protector. See, I'm man enough to have you. First of all, his choice in women don't fit him.
I agree.
You can't. No, you can't. You can't blame Jeide.
Why can't you?
When you're when you're
no,
when you're the man in the relationship, you're the leader. Anything, and when your wife acts out and does something, it's under your leadership. He's not built for a woman like Jeide. He's a dude from the hood, but he's not a hood dude. And he wants to be down. He said he gained his acceptance from rapping. He started rapping, and he rapped funny. Like he rapped like he did jokes in his raps. So I was talking about street stuff and money. So he actually used to win battles. He actually said, I gained my acceptance. I became cool because I started rapping. He been looking for that acceptance. So what happened was he always wanted the hood chick. He wanted to be down. And it's like at the end of the same time, guess who he dated before her?
I know.
What's her name? Pepper
Pepper,
or Salt?
Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who like Pepper said he was the nicest guy ever, but I wanted a thug, so I got Tretch. What do you go after that? Jada. Who did Jada want? Tupac.
Tupac.
Even though Tupac is not a real thug, he was a loose cannon that was exciting. You know, women love exciting niggas. So he was like, you didn't know what to expect from him. He's a nice square. He need a nice square girl because he's not built. You got to stay in your lane. It's a thing that Kevin Samuels was talking about. Like, y'all guys are not built for a bad bitch. Y'all can't handle it. He said, some of y'all just need 6 inch. And y'all be cool, like an average girl, maybe above, a little slightly above average. And because y'all can't handle a bad bitch because, like, they'll walk all over you. He's one of those dudes that has all the successful accolades and all that stuff like that. But at the same time, he's still a nice guy that she's not going to fully respect him. She didn't even stand behind him after he did what he did to show like he wanted to
That's why I
impress her.
say she failed them.
She failed him with some. This woman been embarrassing this nigga for 2 years. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you this nigga don't got no prenup.
Oh, well, I mean, it's null and void at the 10 years anyway. You got to re-up it.
In what world?
Yo,
In
I've been
what
on this one
protocol?
podcast that was
These
talking about
laws are
like
built for
marriages.
women, bro.
Yeah.
These are-
That shit blew my mind when they said that. Like,
Nah,
I'm
man,
gonna send it to you.
I have to see that in writing because, yeah, but
I'm gonna send it to you right after the joint.
How long was Dr. Dre married to his wife?
Oh, Drake paying a nice little chunk of change to her. Like,
That ain't been like this. That's pocket change for him, so it don't even matter.
man,
So
fuck that.
basically, what it
Like,
was
if I
he
gotta
went up
come out of my
there.
pocket millions, that ain't no chunk of change. I don't care how many millions I got saved.
What Steve Harvey said was exactly what Will should have did. He should have stayed calm and seen him in the green room. Because a lot of things being attacked, black manhood was attacked. He really had it. He finally got an Oscar, bro. And it's like, dog, like that. When I seen that movie, I'm like, yo, he gonna get one for this one. And it's like you messed up your moment because emotion. Like this one thing about men is, an emotional man is a dangerous man. And sadly, a lot of us are raised by our moms, and we are more emotional than prior years. So what happens is, man, when when logic goes out the window and emotion takes over, that's why a lot of these kids be shooting everything because they're emotional. Everybody look at us gangster. I look at y'all like emotional young little boys. Y'all don't know how to handle and logically work stuff out. That's
Wow.
not gangster. That's emotion. Men
No,
are not supposed to be
that puts
emotional
things
like
in a
that.
more crazier state. You know what I mean? Because in
I don't
situations
blame
like that,
Jada.
when you see,
I don't blame Jada. I'm sorry, I cut you up. Look at the comments. I don't blame Jada at all. Because, girl, guess what? If you don't handle your woman the right way, she gonna buck. And that's what she's doing. She's bucking. And what she's doing is making enough scenes that she gonna.
I'm not gonna agree with
Yeah, I
that
can't
though,
co-sign
because
that part. Like,
I'm not on the man tip where
because
it's like,
No.
yo, I take control over the relationship, and my woman got to listen to me. She's under my leadership. Like that again. That's opinion, and that's like the way you going about things personally.
No,
But I feel
this is
like their
my
relationship.
opinion.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think their
Contingent
relationship is
upon
different.
Jetty.
No. I know that. I'm just saying, like, I think that Will Smith and her they were open about their relationship as far as their partnership. Like they were just like both like two individual people that were just gonna rock together. He said it a bunch of times. Hey, she can't do anything that's gonna make me mad. That's the woman of my kids. You know what I'm saying? And
No.
whatever she decides to do, I'm gonna
In
be
the
with her.
book,
You know?
in the book, I mean, even in the book, he kind of innuendo like, yeah, the rumors are true. Like we have an open relationship.
Really?
And it's
yeah,
like he
he
kind
said it
of
without saying it.
he said it without saying it. So I'm like, whatever makes it work for them, like that's their house. But the way she going about it, all in the open like that, is like kind of like August wasn't riding right. But it's like it just at the same time, we like let's be real here, man. He's Will Smith, he's smashing. So I mean, at the same time, my whole thing with cheating is like if it's fair game and everybody understands what's going on, I'm cool with it. But at the same time, you can't cheat on your lady and not expect her to cheat back. It's just what it is. It's part of the game. So
Yeah.
it's like, but it's like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's what both
He
parties
should have
do.
just used his words. If he if he would have went on stage and said, "Hey, my wife suffers from blah blah blah," everybody would have like, "Oh," and it would have had the same
exactly.
impact as a
It would
slap.
have, it would have basically, So basically, if he would have waited to the green room, like, yo, let me have a conversation with you, blah, blah, blah. And then when he got his award, like, look, the comments earlier was in poor taste. My wife actually suffers alopecia. And I just want to clap it up for her for dealing with that and being brave enough to sit. But as far as comedy goes, if you're in the front row, you're going to get it, okay? You're getting it. You're going to get it. And at the same time,
Let me ask you something though, Von Brown. This is something that I actually talked to my woman about. And you know, I like looking for loopholes and nuances and shit. You know what I'm saying? How long ago did the King Richard movie come out?
that had to be in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Like last year.
In your opinion, was it a good movie?
I like that movie a lot. It shows you how great kids can be if they have a father in their life.
Okay. All right. So check this out. Real talk.
They painted the narrative. They did paint a good narrative. Like, I'll say that.
Check this out.
His other kids got mad though. Like, he wasn't like that with me.
So here's another thing, because I seen a comment, I believe it was Pretty Rude, that said, you know, he signed up for it, and I completely agree with that.
What you mean? Will?
Yeah, absolutely.
Signed up for what?
Everything.
With Jeide?
No,
No,
as far as
this is not Jaide's fault.
Hold on.
No. As far as him being a superstar, you know what I'm saying? His business is out there. He signed up for it. You know?
Right. Let me cook. Now, we know that there's different types of acting that actors employ.
Mm-hmm. Method acting.
Types of movies. There's a such thing called method acting, where a person puts their ego and their self aside to become another person. And then they take so much time becoming the other person that after the deed is done, they have to revert back to becoming themselves because they're so stuck in the mind frame of the person that they've spent months.
I have a comment. I'm gonna let you finish. I want to see where you're going with this, but I have a comment.
So like, we're also not bringing into account the fact that what could have triggered him was the fact that he was still recalibrating from being Richard Williams. You know what I'm saying? He probably
I mean,
same mind frame of Richard Williams, as if like, yo, you talking to my wife, aka, or you talking to my daughter. Nah, I ain't got time for this shit.
Did he say that?
No. This is what I'm gonna say. This.
I can see how that could play a factor.
I'm gonna give this information because I read the book, and I'm not saying that he didn't do this again. When he first started, he did method acting, but it took him up. He got so entrenched in the character, he wasn't himself. So when he went back to I forgot what season of Fresh Prince he was on, but he wasn't funny because he went at dramatic method acting back. I think it was 6 Degrees of Separation. And when he went back to Fresh Prince, he wasn't funny no more. His timing was off and everything. He actually had to fly in friends from Philly to be around him so he could snap out of it. And he said he'll never do method acting again because of that. Now, for what it's worth, that nigga was pretty damn close to Richard. So I'm not gonna say he didn't do it again, but there's a possibility. I don't think that was what that was, bro. I think he just basically like, yo, he's emasculated, bro. He don't know. I don't think just because you're a man don't mean you know how to be a man. If that makes sense, bro. It's like he reacted out of emotion to impress his wife, what he thought was right. Because the only way he knows how to express himself is, well, I say like a lot of these kids, as a black man, the only acceptable emotion is aggression.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Mm-hmm.
You think maybe that the public and us just reading into it a little too much? Like maybe he just had a bad day and that just tipped the scales and it had nothing to do with her. And he just slapped the shit out of him being
true.
Like, yo,
very true. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
It could have.
Oh,
yeah. At the 20, 30 years in the industry, I'm sure he had plenty of bad days, and we never once seen him do that. So it's kind of hard for us as a public to say, on the biggest night of his career, he decided to act out of character, that far out of character. It's kind of hard without a reason behind it. You know,
he's gonna be in Training Day too now.
Yeah.
Starring Will Smith.
we pulling up on our timeline, gentlemen. Before we get up out of here, though, I do want to ask you a quick question, Von Brown, because this whole thing is a thing now, and because you are a comedian, are there any apprehensions that you have about making jokes now that it seems like a thing to quote unquote check comedians while they're in the middle of their?
See, I'm being honest with you. I see people go on and some people in the crowd, like Smokey Suarez was going in on this big girl crazy because she's want to be quiet. This other dude, my man Jamaican G, he actually went on this dude. This light skinned dude was crossing his leg, like, dog, you ain't got no dick in or something. And it's like, yo, he really went in, and not like, and even with me, big girls get mad at me because I have like a whole long bit about big girls. And it's like big girls would be mad at me like by the end of the show. And it's like what happens with these kind of things, people gonna feel like they could just go and smack people in there. So I like this. I have this joke where I say, you ever seen a big girl tie her shoe? And just like it get real uncomfortable. I just want to see Jeide respond.
Jeide just left the building.
No, he did slide off real easy.
Nah, but it's like literally, know what's gonna happen. People won't feel like they could do that. And the thing about it, what they don't get is some of these comedians are not. Some of these dudes come from the street, and I'm not gonna say everybody from the street can fight, but it's like you can't just run up on every comedian like you're gonna just do something. Like Faison Love, right? Faison Love, somebody actually smacked somebody. He was at the airport. Somebody smacked him in the back of his head at the airport. We're ashamed of the show for. No, that's pretty rude. Pretty girl. No. It's funny
Well, say the
because
question out loud so they can have a quick
I held
playback.
back on big girl.
Seconds.
Fine.
I just
Say the question out loud first.
going to be watching it after the live. Pretty rude ass Von. If you were shamed at a show for your worst insecurity, how would you react?
Big girls actually did that to me, and I held back on the big girls that night. I was pissed because the big girls kept coming. It was two big girls that came out my neck, and two comedians back to back. And I was like, I'll never hold back my big girl jokes ever again because these girls went in on me, right? And I'm like, yo, I actually was nice to y'all tonight. And it was like, I'm like, that's why you can't hold back, man. People are terrible people. And women talk about dudes like dogs.
Right there.
And it's a double standard. It's a double standard. That's why I lean into y'all big girls and y'all got black stuff on the inside of your thighs.
He turned into Will Smith right there. Something fucked him up, and he's like,
nah,
he's
man,
like,
I will never hold back on big girls no more.
You all getting it now, damn.
Big girls tying their shoes like a physical challenge. That's why big girls don't like laces. That's why they wear loafers.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, you wildin'.
Nah, big girls be on because they not really because they like me. That's the reason why they be going in on me. But still, I know what it is. I know their game. But
hey, look, wrapping up on the hour segment right now, man. First of all, before anything, I want to thank the Bokeh Junkies for joining us. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for coming through, for bringing your insight, for bringing your perspective. Von Brown, a comedian, for your perspective is invaluable. Thank you so much. And before we out of here, you know what I mean, tradition, we want to leave one lasting word up on the table for each of us. But I want to start with, in order, the Bokeh Junkies, what's one last thing that you'd like to leave on this table before we head up out of here, fam?
I mean, for the world, just stay creative, you know. Do what you feel is right. Protect your energy. And if it's love, it's love. Simple.
Dig it.
I can dig it.
Dig on it. Von Brown, talk to us, man. You know what I mean?
I got a show on Saturday. I don't know where it's at, though. I got a flyer on my page. But I ain't gonna hold you, I was gonna fall back. But I'm gonna say this, man. I've been off social media. I've been working out. I lost 10 pounds. I'm getting back on track. My goal is to get to 235 right now. I'm 25 pounds away about that.
Beautiful.
But I'm gonna say this. I posted this, and it's solitude, peace equals freedom.
Okay.
For me, not everybody. Some people need to be in the mix. I like being to myself.
No, you find your most creativity when you're at alone and you just sit in one with your thoughts, like, and you need to do that at times. You need to cut off from the rest of the world, like,
yeah, man, it was
in
great.
touch with yourself.
I hate people.
I ain't gonna say I hate people, but they get on my nerves at
You ever
times.
just look at people sometimes like, yo, that's some terrible people, yo.
All
Well,
the
humans
time.
be human. Eh?
Humans.
All the time.
I don't know why Jetty like an extra from Boys in the Hood for some reason right now.
Jerry remind me of like one of them boy members back in the day, like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. I'm just waiting for him to bust out to dance a song right
Hey,
now.
you, I don't like your girlfriend. I think you need a new
Oh, right.
one.
That's on mother.
That's on hard. Yo.
No, I mean I
Hold
didn't
it,
say I didn't like them.
You can no. What was the song? Hear me roar. That joint was hard too. Like I forgot who
I
made
don't know
that
which
song.
one that is,
No,
but
I forgot. I forgot.
That
What
was the
white
B
girl.
side. That was the B side.
No.
that was the B
No,
side.
that's more recent. That's like in the last 10 years. I forgot what
Oh,
it
okay.
was. I know
See,
one of
I'm
these
like
girls
more
know.
90s boy band, early 2000 boy band.
Man, listen, I didn't appreciate that music back then. Like, know what I appreciate now though? I appreciate the snap era. Katy Perry, yep.
Ooh,
That's my Katy Perry song.
okay. I gotta
But
dive. What
but
album? What album? Because
I
I was
don't know,
rocking with her
man. Like
first
she
album.
was killing it at one time. And it's like no, early the snap era, man, it was a lot of dumb songs that was really hot at the time. Except for Hey Baby, I hate that. I still hate that song. And
No,
Chingy,
that was a club
I
banger.
still hate Chingy.
Chingy? No,
Oh,
right there was a hit.
Thank
I hate Chingy. I
Right there
can't.
was a hit. Right
Yo,
there, right there.
Ching-a-ling.
That was my shit back in the day. Like I
Shoot
can't
that
let you do
thing,
it. I
man.
can't let you
Loving
do
with
it.
you roll.
And Holiday
Hot,
Inn?
lock, and drop. That's one like y'all be dancing. Pop, lock, and drop. And you do the John?
We going way too far back. Hey, what's that one thing that you like to leave on the table before we head out of here, bro?
All right, before I leave my lasting words, first to everybody, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Positive Vibes Maybe. Also, if you want to purchase your PVM t-shirt, just hit the DM. Also, shout out to our sponsor for the t-shirt Mercenary. Also our last guest on the what was that, Sunday? So if you haven't checked that episode, check that episode onto the YouTube link. And for my lasting words, I'm gonna say, you know what? It's freedom of speech, but it's freedom with consequences
No,
as
no, no,
well.
no. You're accountable for the things you say, even though it's free. Like,
Facts.
yeah, no, yeah. Look, you can say what you want, but you're
What?
accountable for
Yeah,
your words. Stand on it.
exactly. So you could be Mr. Funny Man and tell them jokes. Just know if Ron and Ray not feeling them things and
Just
they want to see you at the show, you go
keep
ahead.
your hands to yourself at the Oscars.
Well,
This nigga
I think
really messed up his moment, bro.
I ain't trying to hear this. You know what my lasting word is? Will Smith gonna get the biggest bag ever. That's it. Will Smith gonna get the biggest bag ever. All the motherfucking contracts he lost, man, please. We all gonna be back
Man,
after everybody feels sorry about him, and he's gonna pull out some kind of crazy ass scheme, and he's gonna bring another book and another movie out and make everybody cry, and black people gonna love him.
But you know what's funny? I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna leave this off like this. This whole time we had this conversation, the whole hour, not one of us said anything about Jada Smith tweeting. That's how we do.
That's a fact.
because it's Jay and Smith,
yo,
like who's taking him serious?
Jada wanted to go. Like, first of all, Jada can rap his ass off.
No, he can't. No, he
Nah.
can't.
I respect
No,
him.
Jada. Have you listened to his album?
He's dope.
No. He did
Don't
the
take
song
that-
with
dope,
Justin
bro.
Bieber, and I
Don't
was
take
done.
that away from me.
He dope, bro.
He nice.
Yeah.
Dude, his
Right.
albums are great, bro.
Great.
Like, yes.
Yes.
What is our
Yes.
expectation of great nowadays? Like
No,
great.
see, you gotta open your ears, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like when I heard that, I'm like, yo, I can't believe he made this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
He wrote it too.
Yes.
and then
Yes.
Willow, man, like that's why you gotta read the book. The book, and like Willow, she actually cut her hair because she just wanted. She did the whip your hair back and forth joint, right? And then she went on tour with Justin Bieber, and then your Sire album, yep. So you can play that whole thing.
And Aries. Like Sire
I didn't.
got 2 albums. Like them shits is
Mhm.
fire.
All right, I'm gonna tap in. I'm gonna tap in.
Yeah, tap in, bro. I'm trying to tell you. He's a talented family, bro. It's what all of them. Like for what it's worth, even with Jada, man. Jada actually had I mean, like you read the book. She created a rock group and
Yeah.
actually was supposed to go on tour with Metallica or like one of them. And
Well,
it
I
was like,
fuck with Willow. Like, she talented.
no,
Like,
this talking about Jada.
oh yeah. Well, Jeide
Like it's
is
like
talented too.
it's just like it's a talented family, bro. Love them, I hate them, bro. Like no family's perfect. They do what they do. I listen, I really am a big fan of Will Smith, bro, and I just like Will Smith, Mike Tyson, and Kanye West. These are my guys.
Mhm.
Misunderstood people. Just the fact that I understand what Will Smith is, because I'm kind of like that characteristic. So I understand where he was coming from. So it's like, but at the same time, bro, like I didn't want to see him go out like this because I know what he felt like, and that's why I can internalize what's going on. That's why I think what my synopsis is what it is. But it's just me.
That nigga
Jeide, this
rich.
is the first time I seen you do that to somebody else besides me up on this show.
That nigga rich. I don't feel sorry for shit. That nigga rich. And with that being said, we love you, Von Brown. Thank you for jumping on. Bokeh Junkies, thank you for jumping on. Fans Dash, you already know what time it is. Sunday, 7 p.m. PVM Talk Show. We're going to be back with a new topic, new conversation. We love y'all. Thank you for joining us. And we out.
Later.
Nah, nah, nah.